Hey, PolishLynx here, and this is the irae Amantes, of course.
何を悲しんでいるのかね、マルグリット。
And that's Marguerite, Craft. And Marguerite, I don't know why they are talking again, but we'll see about it. Oh, that's actually maybe because she kind of disappeared again. So she's back to the beach, huh? A sand-covered beach, showered by the orange of twilight, a golden sea as far the eye could see. And in that world where the horizon stretched far and wide, a shade addressed the kneeling girl in a monotone voice. He looked upon her, tear-soaked eyes with a gaze of affection. He gave a sigh, faint as a mirage.
ああ、どうか泣き止んではくれないか。ここには君しか光がないのだ。照らす源が曇ってしまえば、私のような旅人はめしいた燕となってしまう。
His voice and tone had not changed in the slightest. But Mary, shaking her head, was by now a completely different being. She would neither lend an ear to the shade's ornate whispers, nor repeat his words like a parrot. Those were merely gestures born from her lack of individual judgment. Not a hint of her pure incertitude remained now as she turned her back on the words of a man who used to be the only one in her life. To be her sole acquaintance, her only partner in conversation, the very premise that connected her to Carcraft had crumbled to dust. The countless others she met through Ren Fuji. The myriad emotions they stirred within her. Having found something to use as comparison, the shade ceased to be the only one for her. In her eyes, he was no longer peerless and irreplaceable. She would not return to being a puppet, blindly believing his every word.
私がずるいこと考えたからみんないなくなっちゃった。
Who might you be talking about?
何の力にもなれなくて、レンに辛い思いばっかりさせて。
Come on, Marguerite, bring the news. She gained the ability to feel regret, to shed tears for another. A host of emotions raged within her breast, all tormenting her, yet Mar did not wish to discard the heart she had gained. She longed for atonement, yet the only trade she could apply was the grim process of decapitation, an act that would birth only bitter self-condemnation in her heart. The jester smiled. He who drifted free and uninhibited across the stage like a fish found the change in girl pleasing as he consoled her.
それは君のせいではないだろう。無粋なことだが、世の中には人の数だけ道理がある。
So she would escape harm and remain but a sweet flavor.
君が君の中で思い描いた通りではそうかもしれんが、客観的に見ればこれは他の思惑が起こした悲劇。他者の望みが君の祈りをすり抜けたのだよ。
Flower, not a flavor, god damn it.
訪れた不幸に理由をつけて自らを貶めるのはやめたまえ。自責と自傷は王噛む蛇だ。それもまた円環となり巡る。果てがない。あれも言っていただろう。起こったことは変えられぬ、戻らぬ、ゆえ思考なり。今の君にはこれこそが真理ではないかな。
Despite his monologue, he made no attempts to confirm the theory. He denied it, but that was all. It seemed as if the man existed on a different plane compared to the rest of mankind. The man Marie Khaldir would have likely described it as looking down on others, belittling them, but not quite in a derogatory manner. His disposition instead resembled that of a giant cherishing ants. That expression seemed right on the mark, and Marie, feeling like she had been made fun of, began to experience a welling of silent anger within her heart. For the common sense she attained told her that this behavior could only belong to a complete buffoon. She could not help giving him a stern look.
おやおや、これはいけないな。そのような顔をされたら、やばい私は息が詰まってしまいそうだ。別段、私はあれを愚かと言っているのではない。何よりかつては私自身がそう思ってしまったことだからね。言葉を借りて少々気恥ずかしくなったのだ。許されよ。それどころか、むしろ私は感謝しているのだよ、マルグリット。君は実にあれより多くを学び取り、変わろうとしている。
She had been turning honest. The man allowed the truth, unseen and unnoticed by the girl, to dance upon the tip of his tongue, savoring it for a moment or two before unleashing it upon the world. The gesture filled her with a sense of foulness. It felt most like a snake twirling its tongue at her. She shook her head, her blonde locks dancing in the air, and raised her hand as if to strike. She ultimately stopped herself, realizing how terrible an action that would have been, not the physical force of it, but the result. She drew away from the man who was, by all intents and purposes, her first friend, unable to trust him any longer. Ma realized what she was about to do was terrible, no more than an attempt to vent her anger. Strength left her hand and she once again placed it upon her chest. Not because her touch would have killed the man. Mary stopped herself because she felt she would have been betraying him and his beliefs, had she continued with the act.
あなたのカリオストロの力でなんとかできないの?
And instead she attempted to clutch at a straw. She pleaded desperately for help, despite knowing full well that the action was equivalent to selling her soul to the devil.
私何でもするから、できることなら手伝うし、何でも言うことだって聞く。だから私はいいからレンには返してあげて。私はいいからレンには返してあげて。こんなのとてもひどすぎるから。
She was ready to give up her entire being in exchange. Her plea came as a cry from the very depths of her heart, a feeling she wanted desperately to give shape to. She begged God to grant her this one wish. To return all that the young man had lost because of her. For the first time in her life, she would pray from the bottom of her heart, and she would not care if this was the last thing that would ever be granted to her. She would give all of herself, and so she begged the heavens to let him reclaim all he held dear. She prayed to someone omnipotent, someone who couldn't possibly exist, who couldn't possibly lend her near, but the feelings she poured into her prayer were genuine and pure, like that of a martyr. And the man before her was the closest to that sort of being. However,
まさか。
he suddenly shook his head, his lips forming a faint smile. It was a gentle yet definite expression of rejection.
これはまた随分と買いかぶられたものだ。君の中でそれほど私は万能の権下となり果てていたとは。勘違いだよ、マルグリット。祈る先を間違えている。今君の見つめている先には幻のみだ。蜃気楼にひざまずいても意味はない。帰らぬ恋などやめたまえ。
Mercure slid his finger to emphasize his tethering translucence.
この身は所詮道家にして領衆、万能などとはかけ離れている。どれほど崇め願われようとも流れ星にはなれまいよ。たださすらう浮き木でしかない。それともさしずめ引きずられ擦り切れた麻袋かな。そこが抜けるのさえ近いのだ。その言葉は光栄であるが、君を背負ってはいけそうもないよ。所詮歌方の夢、その飛沫、大した力もなく、ただ事態を眺めて薄笑うだけの影。胡蝶なのだ。どこまで行こうと夢が覚めればただの虫けら。こうして君と会話を続けている人の姿こそ、かりそめの無双に過ぎぬと思いたまえ。
He was merely a jester, a powerless and ephemeral shadow. He weaved He waved one dubious word after another. Mary could not help but feel that all of it was a lie. Yet this shade insisted he spoke the truth. Did he, though? However, the emotions behind his words were doubtlessly genuine. He truly had been disappointed with himself from the bottom of his heart.
そんな脆弱な私に君の友人を取り戻す力などとてもとても。
Returning to your friends goes far beyond what my meager powers can accomplish.
ああ、己の非力を嘆くよマルグリット。希少な私を許してほしい。君の瞳に映ったカゲロウはなんと解消のない男なのだろう。今すぐこの身を引き裂かれたいよ。焦がれた女性の願い一つ叶えてやれる力がないとは。
Mercurius cast his gaze downward in an exaggerated display of anguish, a genuine apology. The shade scorned himself for his lack of power, and yet a certain hint of mirth still colored his tone.
それに何でもなどと軽々しく言ってはならないよ。見目麗しい女性がささやくには慎重にならざるを得ない言葉だ。
Exactly. That's true. Never do that, woman.
下手に口を開けば悪い男に捕まってしまうからね。
He, the biggest swindler of them all, made an amiable smile. How could he even utter that with a straight face? That sole question burned bright in Mary's mind, even after the two had exchanged a dizzying amount of words upon this deserted shoreline. He had planned everything, setting it all into motion. Who was he trying to fool with that mock display of innocence? Only his warning rang true. Mary had indeed been trapped by the worst of men. There had been no escape from him, and she also realized that he had already implanted in her a new move that she had yet to grow conscious of. She felt sad and angry. She thought him cruel, but...
私はどうすればいいの？本当に取り戻せないならどうすればいいの？償うために。
I didn't want to click, but well, I clicked. Ultimately, only this man would hear her out. He had trimmed her words so it contained but a single choices, and so, enduring the bitterness welling in her heart, Mary faced the man who had been so adept at planting the seeds of agitation within men.
あるとも私などではできぬ真実、君にしかできぬことが。非小でも非俗でも卑劣でも卑屈でも、そして飲み込む破群でもない。永劫不変の輝きを宿し、いかなさんにも溶かせぬ宝石にしかできぬことがこの世にはある。
It was as if the question had intoxicated him. The jester waved his words like he had been awaiting this opportunity. Mary looked at him, filled her with repulsion, an experience shared by all who would lay eyes upon Mercurius. In that moment, a feeling of aversion had undeniably sprouted in her heart, although she had not yet been conscious of the fact.
私なんかに何ができるの？カリオストロ。蓮にしてあげられることなんて力になる以外ないよ。私のことなんてもういいから、蓮の喜ぶことをしてあげたくて。
いいや、あれのしたいことではない。的がずれているよ。そうではない。
The shadow contorted his lips into the shape of a crescent moon.
君のしたいことをだよ、マルグリット。ああ、当然のことだ。人はやれることしかやれぬ。そしてやりたいことしかやらぬ。 行動を起こす愚者が時としてさまよう賢者を出し抜くのはそのためだ。ウサギと亀の童話だよ。やれることをやりたいと思った時、初めて進化が芽を出し輝く。勤勉なウサギを前に、亀はどうやって勝てばよい。ならば。
Marguerite needed only to do what she desired the most. It would result in the excellence that all the actors of the stage yearn for.
その祈り、君の渇望でぜひとも全てを包んでくれ。新世界の夜明けを告げる明星の女神よ。
Pray not the threat of the known, but to the mystery of the unknown. Those feelings would be your true desire, your eternal luster. The shadow maintained his cantillation as he stood up on that beach of gold, harboring not a shred of suspicion. Well, that was kind of a fast intro to the chapter. 12. Homo homini lupus. A sudden drop ravaged my body with no prior warning. All my nerves became numb. I had felt this sensation as if having a light jolt of electricity ran through my veins. Many times before. Another swastika had just opened, the seventh one. I could feel the transmutation of gold draw yet another step closer to its conclusion. It was from the tower. I glared in the direction of the pressure with stern eyes. With that, we had only one swastika left. There was no turning back now. The unease I felt from the sky increased in intensity yet again, making me feel like the bastards could bring down the whole sky if they wanted. At the same time, the phenomenon filled me with questions. There was nothing left to sacrifice in this ghost town, which meant that in order to open it, they had to kill one of their own. Did someone decide to go their own way after all this? Or did they sacrifice one of their own on a complete whim? Whatever the case, I had a hard time grasping the full situation. The way events unfolded appeared to completely ignore me and Himura. Everything seemed to be going frightfully according to those bastards' plans. Could I talk that up to my anxiety? Still, I felt there was more to this whole mess than met the eye. Should I go side and check, or remain here behind the barricades? A choice between launching a surprise attack or defending the castle. I lacked the information to make a proper decision. I'd been left out of the game. They give me the illusion of being free like some free-range animal, but they take me right back to the slaughterhouse the moment the final battle drew near. God damn it! At this rate, I'd always stay one step behind the bastards. If I want to ever have the upper hand, I couldn't stay forever passive. I needed to take action, and soon.
これで残るスワスチカの場所は
学校だね。
Their decision to leave the place, neither of us could turn a blind eye to, as the final location reeked of malicious intent. The fact made me feel lightheaded. No way, it could have been a coincidence. Even if I'd forever lost any chance at being a normal student again, the place still had too many precious memories for me, all things I want to protect from their vile poison. Which meant that we had no choice but to head out, and most likely destroy the final sanctuary of our everyday lives, with our own hands. They were scum. Whoever came up with this setup was rotten in the core. Just thinking about it made me want to puke my guts out.
悪どいよね、やり方。ここまで性格悪いと感心するよ。
Hey, you stay in the house.
行くしかないし、やるしかない。選択肢はあるように見せかけて、結局最後は望み通り。
You aren't going anywhere, right?
ほんと、最低。
先輩
Himura spat out her contempt, giving the empty air in front of her a vicious glare. Her face seemed slightly contorted in pain, probably the result of the swastika's opening. I instinctively reached out towards her, but ultimately stopped myself short.
先輩いけるな
I confirmed her condition with words instead. She made a slight nod in response and I gave up on trying to carry on with the conversation any further. Our minds were made, we had talked everything out and decided what needed to be done, and so this was hardly the time to extend her helping hand, considering the threat we were about to face. Raining hard for me, Isaac for her. We had to subdue them both, no matter what. Well, in the end, actually, she can kinda fight someone. That's true. My mistake for not realizing that. The difficulty of defeat was probably on the same level as catching clouds with one's bare hands. I imagined even a hero from a fairy tale would flee with his tail between his legs at the very thought of it. But we decided to fight. We allowed Valhalla's emanation to come to pass, and defeating those two was the very least we had to do in order to achieve that. You could say we had no choice in the matter.
大丈夫だよ、藤井君。いろいろ言いたいことはあるだろうけど、私を信じて。そうとしか言えないのが、ちょっと歯がゆいけど。
わかってる。先輩を置いていこうとはしない。俺一人じゃ空回るのがオチみたいだし。
And I didn't want to let her out of my sight ever again.
うん。それに、大変なのは君の方。もう一度あの城に行くためには、まだ一つ残ってる。
ああ。
We had to open the 8th swastika. If we wanted to storm their castle, there was no way around that. It had already manifested enough to be visible to the naked eye, but it existed on a dimension slightly off kilter from our own. We couldn't enter it by ourselves. It was like a merge that actually existed. It was definitely there, but there was no way for us to touch it. It had yet to fully emerge into the real world, which meant there were no convenient ladders leading to its entrance just yet. A rift still separated our world from their hell. It was neither close enough to connect the two, nor far enough to let them drift apart. That was why the castle had yet to emanate, and instead lingered above the world like a menacing wraith. In short, we had no way of entering it unless Reinhardt invited us inside. Neither me nor Himuro could just sprout wings and fly to the damn place anyway. It was a ridiculously obvious and simple barrier, but it certainly did its job in terms of effectively shutting us out from the final battle. As such, we had only one option at our disposal.
あと一人。俺は誰かを倒さないといけない。
That might be problematic though. We needed to open the 8th swastika ourselves, then defeat Reinhardt before he had the time to emanate his monstrosity. What we needed was a miracle just to clear the minimal conditions of victory. We had to put our lives, our souls, and everything else on the line just to have the faintest glimmer of hope in this deadly race against time. I had to take care of the battalion of the three and their master in one fell swoop. It was impossible, ridiculous, reckless? We knew that more than anyone. Yet our only choice was to bet everything on a miracle. Which meant I had to figure out how to open the gate. Contrary to what I'd been doing up until now, I'd actually help Reinhardt enter our realm and, if I was lucky, take one of his subordinates out of the equation in the process. All so we could fight each other at full strength. Ironically enough, on this one point alone, our objectives coincided. In which case...
奴らのうち、誰かが学校で待っている。おそらくはもうすでに。
Who, if I may ask? A sacrifice for the swastika, an enemy prepared for me to defeat, someone who existed merely to light the flame of the final battle. Considering the strength of the remaining bastards, I have guessed it to be one of their battalion commanders. Hopefully. Red, white, black. It was most likely Nigredo, the Somber Knight, who seemed to have an uncanny obsession with me. It will make the most sense for them to position him there, likely as the final piece to trigger the completion of my growth. Hopefully, that's the actual answer. Because I have a bad feeling that they might use someone else. Kinda. I had to prepare to find that Goliath. There was no one else who could have been waiting for me there. And yet...
Fujii-kun?
The hell was this? I couldn't shake off this vague feeling that something was not right. An odd mixture of anxiety and dread, different from mere terror, sent a violent chill up my spine. What could have been causing this? It felt almost like... I could tell that the stage for their 5th game had been set. Like a play or an opera guided by an artificial hand, one in which we were all actors, merely obeying the commands of the conductor. With Renfuji as the elite and Mari as the heroine and Blade to be wielded, we're entertainers who would please our audience by using monsters in the skin as our stepping stones toward the grand finale. A saga of heroes. With a plot both simple and adherent to tradition, yet tragic enough to tug on the heartstrings of all in attendance. A trite story about a snot greenhorn who attains a legendary weapon and challenges a great threat, accumulating victories and defeats as he gains experience and levels up. One time, he suffers a complete defeat leading to a mental breakdown that is soon suited by women only for him to rise again twice as strong. What are you, a Super Saiyan? And now was finally the time for him to face the ultimate threat. I knew where this was going. I had nothing to be anxious about. Face the threat. This shall mark the last warm-up before the final act. I could almost feel the whispers of a playwright wearing a sinister smile, no doubt, echo within my mind. The thought made me feel sick. This all felt way too artificial. Everything went as if according to a script. I balled my hands into fists. The thought filled me with a nigh blending level of rage. I could safely claim that whoever came up with this story was one messed up piece of shit. All extras that died due to these machinations were the mere statistics for him to toy around with. Life that once filled this town. Happiness, joy, sorrow, he used them all as mere kindling for the climax of his story. Looking at you, Light. The developer, right? Would such a malicious script really have a fair duel prepared for me? Would we bastard who'd been hoping for my growth to be satisfied by erecting a merely physical wall in my path? I had a premonition that whoever was waiting for me would prove to be both the final and greatest trial in my life. The ultimate most birthed by the perils of fate. Someone who couldn't coexist with refuge no matter what. The final.
Oh.
Well, I think I know where this is going.
電話なんで
And you probably know as well if you watched the previous episodes. Well, my phone started ringing before I had the chance to finish my train of thought. Who that might be? Not a single living soul had been left in this town. In this town for sure. Which meant no one could possibly make this call except... My heart rate increased. Pads of sweat began to moisten my skin. I had trouble keeping my breathing even. An inexplicable surge of anxiety overcame me. My entire body screamed rejection, as if it already knew that would be in store for me. Don't pick up. Ignore it. Don't even think about touching the receiver. Just be on your way. Completely ignoring the warnings of my inner voice, my body took a step forward and picked up the receiver. At least it wasn't that annoying freaking ringtone we had for very long, for at least 3 chapters. I hated that ringtone. For a moment, everything went silent. I never thought gulping down one saliva could feel this loud. Oh! Eventually, a voice greeted me from the receiver. It had been enough to render me completely speechless.
Shiro.
I felt like I could hear the playwright chuckle in the distance. In that moment, I temporarily forgot all about my resolve. All I could do was absent-mindedly murmur the name of someone I thought I'd lost. In the center of the Devil's Castle, where the throne of the dead swayed ceaselessly with the rift between reality and unreality, Reinhard Heydrich frowned upon these fresh developments with the gaze of a monarch. At this point, the whole of the city resembled a miniature in the palm of his hand. The annihilation of all its inhabitants hardly necessitated moving a finger. He had ascended to the realm of gods, and with his affection towards mankind knowing no other way to manifest itself but through utter and absolute destruction, he was, without a doubt, the incarnation of a malevolent deity, perhaps even the devil itself. His legion of demons had conquered and occupied Shambhala, delivering it into his hands. As such, it was only natural for him to know all that transpired within it. No phenomenon in the town could escape his all-seeing gaze. He would see through a gust of wind. He He was conscious of every single grain of sand dancing in its embers, and now his eyes had been fixed on the last of the remaining swastikas. A final play, soon to be performed by 2 men and a young maiden. How would the curtains open, and what would have changed by the time they closed? What manner of song would usher in the final chapter of Grand Guignol? The radiant gold gazed down upon the world with grace, his eyes replayed with anticipation.
さあ、どう出る？どう動く？それでよいのか？カールの遊びは容赦がないぞ。思考が凝る分、整列だ。活路を開こうとするのも結構だが、かける価値があるかどうかさえ怪しいもの。舞台を始めるのさえ一苦労よ。すべてが暴利だ。基準が端から桁を割っている。勝とうと負けようとむしられる。
The result meant little. Whatever development scales that might have decided the outcome had already vanished. An inappropriately high toll would be exacted from the boy regardless. From the dawn of time, that had always been how swindlers operated. Silver-tongued manipulators who would drive you in the corner, leaving no other option but to seal the contract. And once the storm had subsided, you'd be left with tremendous bill. Business, as usual. They would casually deflect the blame, eventually vanishing like mist in the air, air. He had always been like that.
ゆえ、参考にさせてもらうとしよう。
He would wait for the upcoming stage with an eager heart, for it had been the sole affair that connected him with his dear, for still nowhere to be seen. Friend.
あ、それと、K はどう思う？イザーク。胸に感じるものは？
He addressed the cock that spun his heart, the boy who functioned as the colonel of the castle. A trivial, insouciant conversation. Yet something Isaac stirred ever so slightly. He knew not the reason, however, during the past half-century, ever since erecting that netherworld of death, had the gold ever addressed him directly? It was true that he had been impoverished. The tremor that shook the castle during that early battle had affected his very soul. It was impossible for him to wear out, yet not even an ignorant cock could escape the jaws of exhaustion. As such, he assumed had misheard it.
どうした？何か言ってみるがいい。大概のことには答えよう。
So now you do that. Now you try to talk with him actually. That's something you didn't do in the third chapter and it was pointed out to you, right? So you learn from your mistakes as well, you bastard. The subsequent voice, however, proved that it was no trick of the ears.
他の者たちとは語り尽くした。残るは K しかおらぬのだ。胸に秘めた愛。何かあるなら吐き出してみろ。余暇は幾ばくもないぞ。我が総軍、出撃の時は近いのだ。挑むにふさわしい好敵手が息吹を殺し、牙を研いで待ち構えている。小さき魔人だ。あまりに儚い。愛にすがり迷い失い。それでもなお私を拒絶する。脆弱で強靭な魂。あれは私を、我々を、すべてを倒すつもりだ。本気でそう思い、実行するつもりでいる。素晴らしいとは思わぬか？己がすべて、長きにわたりために溜め込んだ蓄財。我ら真に一体となり、ぶつけるに足る敵手が息巻いている。永遠の脱皮を遂げ、今まさに完成の兆しさえ見せようとしている。ならばだ。K は我が礎となった第一の功労者。今もこの魔性を滞りなく維持する。いわば屍を存命させる細胞核よ。何を欲する？何が知りたい？何をこそ求め、母さえも我が身に食らい取った？ このゆりかごで一体何を待ち望んでいるのだ？イザークよ。生産杯の進言だ。中心の願いならば聞き届けてやらねばなるまい。
Wished to know the entirety of his army before the final battle, and for that he even dressed his dormant heart. For it was the sole wish of the Grand Champion that braved the perils of Valhalla and reached his throne. Isaac found himself puzzled, unable to understand his own self. He had devoured all without distinction for aeons. Amidst all the emotions he consumed, Amantes' love enjoyed no elevation. It made no difference. But for what purpose had he done all this? For whose sake? He failed to find an answer to that question. An inexplicable instinct took over him for a moment.
あなたが私の父なのですか？
父か。なるほど。確かにそうなろう。抜け目のないことだ、カール。その手際、感服の意を送るほかない。ああ、そうだな。そうなるのだろう。バスタルトとはよく言ったものだ。これではそうとなるしかない。
Isaac grew hesitant as Reinhardt acknowledged the scammed and deep blood relation he had never been conscious of. It was as if a puzzle neglected for long years had just abruptly solved itself. Reinhardt made a mischievous smile, jestingly condemning the swindler who managed to pull the wool even under his eyes. His thoughts drifted far, his attention abandoning the boy, and this self-confirmation completely disregarding the central object of the puzzle appeared disordered even to Isaac's eyes. The biggest mystery of the obsidian table, the seed that gave birth to the zoning kind. The golden beast uttered the answer with ease, smiling with delight. Emotions incomprehensible to anyone but him surged within his breast. Isaac was no exception, having lost his train of thought as well as the ability to continue. What had happened? A part of himself seemed to have been distorted. He had always thought the man of golden locks to be his father. There was simply no other possibility, and even if it turned out to be false, it mattered little. The golden father and son were one. Their souls had merged and fused together. A trivial matter like blood relations meant nothing at this point. But if such was the case, what made him ask that question?
よい、こちらの話だ。ではそれでよかろう、イザークよ。K は我が血肉から生まれた嫡男。血のつながりを持つ男児なり。さすがの私も起こった事実は覆せん。それが分かった以上、認めぬわけにはいくまい。知らぬ存ぜぬのままを通すほど、無知でも厚顔でもないのでな。
ならば。
He spoke the words without hesitation. His tone was flat, yet imbued with unmatched gravity. He thought him to be his father, and he was. That ought to have concluded the matter. But then why did he keep clinging to it? Whatever emotion it was that drove Isaac to part his lips yet again, he could not name it.
私はあなたに愛される資格があるのでしょうか？
An incomprehensible question. God loved all and everything, and so did he. What did worth matter enough? What did it mean to be loved? What in the world was happening to him?
あなたのために屍の健在で気づきました。あなたのためにドクロの絨毯を敷き詰めました。あなたのために流血の石膏で塗り固めました。あなたのために、あなたのために、あなたのためだけに私は今まで存在してきたのです。あなたのために、あなたのために、あなたのために、あなたのために、あなたのために。
The cork of his mouth went haywire. It no longer even made sense. The wound that Teresa carried in him might have been to blame. It was that wound speaking.
あなたは 私を息子として愛してくれていますか、父様。
He wished to be a good son. He wanted to be praised, to be viewed with pride by his kingly father. That was all he craved.
資格とはまたいなことを言う。
Just say yes or no.
論点がずれておるな、イザーク。K は勘違いをしている。
He answered the boy's appeal in a serene tone.
愛するということに資格など必要なかろう。
He answered his child with grunt yet helplessly word benevolence.
資格がいらない。
Kind of makes sense, actually.
しかり。思い出してもみよ、イザーク。私が K を愛さぬといったことなど一度でもあったか？
The beast spoke sense. He knew that better than anyone.
思い当たるまい。なぜなら私は一度も否定したものなどないのだから。
But why did it sound completely off somehow?
常々言っているであろう。私が愛していないものなどない。それが本音であり、すべてと言ってもいい。破壊という形態のため、余人とはかけ離れているが、K は知っているはずだ。
Indeed, and Isaac was no different. He had known it from the beginning. After all, he had always said the same thing.
そうだ、イザーク。私は全てを愛している。かねてよりそう言い募っているではないか。
Those words pointed at one universal truth with complete clarity. The unchanging foundation of Reinhardt's Heydrich. Indeed, it would never change.
愛しておらぬわけがなかろう。私は自らに類する者もあだなす者も皆等しく愛している。例外はない。
But it kind of might hurt because that means there is no one like special, right?
何を感じて不安を抱いたかは知らぬが、杞憂であったな。愛していたとも、初めて会った時から、そして血のつながりを知った今でも、寸分たがわず愛している。不変なり、ゆえ崩れぬ、喜ばしかろう、絶対の愛だ。たとえこれから先、K がその役目を終え、擦り切れようとも、それは変わらぬ。案ずるなよ。切り離されようとも、翻意されようとも愛してやろう。未来永劫、この城の中で。
As such, there is nothing to fear. Your labors have been rewarded. His tone was majestic and imperious beyond measure.
祝福を送ろう、イザーク。最初から K は愛されていたのだ。これからもより一層、その大任に従事するがいい。いかになろうとも報われるのだ。これ以上の安心はあるまい。
He showed his deep affection upon all and everything in the world with the dignity of a monarch. Uh-oh. Something broke in him, right? At the same time, unbeknownst to all, a fissure ran across the core of the devil's castle. He could not understand. He simply could not. What was this? What in the world was this? Why did his wound deepen? Teresa's sting had been no fiercer than a toddler's bite, and yet it appeared to have penetrated him to the very bone. The creed of eternally loving all and everything regardless of circumstances and conditions. In other words, he was no different from all the corpses that he had molded in the castle's walls. Oh, told ya. Told ya. So basically there is no one special, right? So basically he loves you, but you are not special at all compared to the others. Well, that might break someone. almost as if he was a sheep or donkey kept at a farm, one of countless others. He was but a grain of sand within the desert he cherished. No matter how much he struggled or what he did, he would never mount to more than a single grain. That was the nature of the king's love. Forever. He had been declared a grain of sand by his own father. Another minuscule part of the rubble that filled the world. No more. It did not matter whether he was loyal and helpful, foolish or spiteful, he would eternally remain on the same kind of scales. A single pin of the gear broke away. The Devil's Castle, immaculately designed, had begun to slowly creak and tip under its own weight. Metal fatigue had finally caught up to the ultimate creation figment. It was but a slight crack, yet it yelled to the otherwise impossible failure of an intricate mechanism. No one noticed the subtle peristalsis that ran across the castle. Even Isaac failed to take notice of his own deterioration, and so the phenomenon vanished as swiftly as it appeared. He concealed his wound. Their out-of-tune creaks merged with the harsh tumult of the castle, making them impossible to discern.
ああ、しかし愛ではなく友情を感じた者は一人いたな。
And that was why. That casually uttered phrase, directed at one in particular, found its way directly to his heart. It echoed with an almost airy nonchalance.
カールよ、Kもそろそろ舞台に上がってみるといい。見えるもの、感じるものがまた違って見えてくるというものだ。
Carl is doing something else right now. Please call later.
遊戯を結んだのならば、友の弦くらい耳を傾けてみるといい。今の私は少し基地の破り方が見えてきたのだ。ぜひともKに聞かせてみたい。
His words rang with staggered purity, to the point of naivete, and were directed at one specific being. A trifling thought, a mischievous yet amicable challenge. An emotional cloth, yet nonetheless unique dance with Reinhard Heydrich's chest. An unpleasant sensation assailed Isaac then, not unlike what one feels upon encountering a centipede wriggling on the ground. His whisper might have only reached his own ears, but it was enough to ignite a fierce emotion in him. A deep-rooted malice, clothed visibly like black smoke, potent enough to make him want to grit his teeth. A wound he had suffered by devouring his mother and meeting Rhea. A feeling unbefitting the castle, that certainly minuscule enough to escape detection. Nonetheless, it had taken sprout within his chest. He had been an entity that knew only how to devour and swallow. Killing himself was an alien concept to him, and so was managing an emotion that had never graced his gestalt before. There was no way for him to have known how to cope with it. The malice sticking from his chest like a thorn would only spread farther. And further. And further. Went further. And with that Isaac returned to his existence as a mere cog of the castle. The envy in his breast remained a blister that he could not help but prod, hoping for it to burst in a torrent of fresh blood. It did not disappear. It merely vanished from everyone's sight. And there was nothing scarier than that. An inerrant year learned of loss by gaining a father. What would this failure, or rather, a tear that he himself had already forgotten, end up bringing about? Find out in the next episode of the Amantes tomorrow! No one knew. Isaac dove into the depths like a deep-sea fish, as if praying for his day of release to come. But yeah, seriously, we'll find out maybe in the next one, or we'll find out something completely different. For now, hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one. I keep repeating that phrase. Anywho, bye bye.